Let's look through 17 through 24 here in this short video. 17 through 20 says use a calculator to approximate each to the nearest thousandth. Well, these are all logarithms, and the bases are 2, 4, 6, and 5 here. And what we need to do is we need to use the change of base formula, because most calculators don't have a log base 2 or a log base 4 or 5 or 6. And we have to change it to a base that we do have on a calculator. And that, in what we'll be doing is we'll be using log base 10, which when we do log base 10, we actually don't usually write the 10. We just leave it as log, and you don't write the base because it's the common log. There is another logarithm that we use often. It's called the natural log. It's log base e, and it's abbreviated ln. You'll notice on your calculator. So if you look across this line, you'll see the log button, and then right under it is an ln button, and that's also a logarithm. That's log base e, which we will learn another time. But change of base formula basically says you have log of any base of some number that will always equal log of some other base of your choosing. You can choose whatever it is, of x, so of this number here, divided by the log base c, so same base as above, of b. Now, so we can put any number in for c, but what we do is we normally put base 10, or base e, that other one I was mentioning, but we'll be doing base 10, which is just log. Oops, not log of c, log of b. And so that's all we do here. I'm going to write this out, what we're going to be typing in our calculator. We're going to be putting log of 3.3 divided by the log of 2. Now, calculators are different, so you have to make sure you learn your calculator and how to use it. But what I'm going to do, I can hit my log button here, log of 3.3. I'm going to close the parentheses, and then divided by the next part, the log of 2. So log 2, close parentheses, hit enter, and this is 1.7. It says round to the nearest thousandth, so 1.722 is our answer for that. Now, realize this means, I'd like to think through this sometimes, this means 2 to the 1.722 power will give me that 3.3. And so 18 through 20 are all the same idea. Notice here in number 18, you should really get a number that's really close to 1, because 4 to what power? 4 to the first power gives you 4, so we're just a little bit over 4. But I wanted to point out number 19 also, to get a number 1.1 that's lower than 6, you're going to have a negative. But you'll get to that. Now, the next 4 questions they look like they might be logarithm questions, but they're actually not. We've done these before, but we like to bring these up again just so you realize you don't always need logarithms. As long as the numbers in there, which will end up being bases, can be related with exponents, we don't have to use logarithms. So as you've seen before, like we can write both of these as a base of 4. So 16 is 4 squared. So instead of writing 16, we're going to put 4 squared to the 3n minus 2. And instead of writing 1/4, we know if a 4 is in the denominator, we can write that as 4 to the negative 1. Now, when we have a power raised to a power, we multiply. So 4 to the 6n minus 4. So that was 2 times both of those, equals 4 to the negative 1. And once we get to this part, since they're the same base, we can say 6n minus 4 equals negative 1. So you have to have the same base in order to be able to do that. So 6 n minus 4 equals negative 1. We add 4 to both sides. So 6n equals 3, and divide by 6 gives us a half. So in number 22 and 23, they already have the same base, 2 and 2, and then in number 22, 6 and 6. So, for example, in 22, we can write negative x minus 1 equals 2x, because the bases were the same, so the exponents have to be equal. Down here for 24, you would probably want to rewrite this as 6 cubed. Not 6 cubed, 4 cubed. To the 2v equals 4 to the 2 minus 3v. A power to a power you multiply, so 4 to the 6v equals 4 to the 2 minus 3v. And now that we have the same base, we can write this as, write that the exponents are equal to each other. So 6v equals 2 minus 3v. Add 3v to both sides, you get 9v equals 2. So v has to equal 2 over 9. So that's how you do those in that section.